they they went on to KGW's tower out in I think Delta Park when they had a single tower a long time ago, and then now the former KGW AM is on the KEX towers down there in Oregon City.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because they took the site out that's out there in Delta Park, took the towers down, and now they're combined onto the KEX tower array down there. You can do all kinds of things.
How do they do that? The tower's resonant.
Well, actually, the towers usually are not resonant. I mean, they are sometimes, but that they actually just usually get it close, and then they use a network to match them up and stuff. From what I can tell, is a typical operation. I used to think they were resonant towers too, but and they may be in some cases, but a lot of times they're not. And depending on the pattern and field strength they're supposed to have, they do all kinds of different things.
Yeah, well, KEX has got 3 towers out there to
Right. They have a dog leg kind of array, and they're directional at nighttime. They're directional out towards the west.
Yeah.
I hear them at times down here in Hawaii.
Yeah.
Amazingly enough.
Well, there was a lot of service people that would hear them out there in the Pacific.
Yeah, so if you go look up the history on WLW, Crosley Station, and when at one time they were running a half a megawatt for power.
Yeah.
In the 30s, and when they did that though, they had first thing they had, I think before they went to the 500,000 watts, they tried a 5/8 wave antenna array, and the thing with the 5/8 wave, which gives you the strongest ground wave, out at a distance, but in a real low angle, but at nighttime they have a zone where they have severe destructive interference from the sky wave and the ground wave. And I think what they ended up doing, they changed that, shortened it so it was more towards a half wavelength. But the other thing is that they're on 700 kilohertz, right? And Toronto was on 690 kilohertz. So at nighttime, when they only ran the 500,000 watts at nighttime. They ran 50,000 watts daytime, and nighttime they were able to turn on the experimental transmitter and run the half a megawatt. Well, they were killing Toronto, 10 dB off up, and so what the engineers came up with, this I think is so amazing, because before computers, their slide rules and stuff, they built a couple suppressor towers that cause a null in the right direction at the correct angle to null out the sky wave that would land in Toronto at that geographical location. So they're omni everywhere else, but they got to null at that one particular angle, so they would be weaker in Toronto and not kill them.
I'll be darned.
And they did that back in the 30s. I have to think, no computers and stuff, and pretty smart people to figure all that crap out.
Yeah, so they triplexed not too long ago. Oh, this is probably 6 years ago. KBOO, classic radio station.
Yeah.
And OPB on the same antenna.
Yeah.
But
right.
their frequencies are pretty close also.
Right. Well, and actually they're better off to have a broadband antenna and have them farther apart, because what you got to do is you have to have a duplexer of a sort that allows each frequency to pass through, but null out the other ones into your particular port. Otherwise, you're going to have a severe intermod mixer, and it's the same way two-way radio. So if they're wider space, it's usually easier to combine them, because you don't have to have as much isolation between the ports, so to speak. But yeah, that's like the KGOM tower. I think they may be the ones that have they may be on the KG1 tower, but there's a lot of multiplex transmitters on that tower that's out there on, where's it at? I'm trying to remember where it was at. That's the three-legged tower, the big massive three-legged tower.
Oh, up on the West Hills?
Yeah, well, that's actually kind of in the kind of south of the main West Hill array. You know, it's the non-guide tower. It's 900 foot tall. It's got the big tubular legs that come up.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think what that's, is that, trying to remember the bluff that's on. It's been a while. I can tell you about a little bit of that tower because when I worked at the state, a company called Seacoma Communications had the state contract for years putting in our radio towers, and they put in that KGUN tower, and the guy that did the foundations, he was another guy that he usually got the bids with Seacoma and put foundations in a lot of towers that, you know, at Washington State that we had put in, and he used to tell me about that foundation on that tower. Each leg goes into a 21-foot cube of concrete, you know, reinforced concrete that anchors that thing down. So,
Well,
and then those tubes are hollow, and they pumped in high pressure, high strength grout, and those tower legs are filled to within about 20 feet of the top of the 900-foot tower. Crazy stuff.
yeah, for being 900 feet, yeah.
Yeah, and for it to be, you know, self-supporting, you know, and they put in a couple of 300 footers. Was the last thing it did when I was working at the state there, that were self-supporting towers, and the one that says right at Highway 500 and 205, that's the DOT's tower there, 300 foot, and the soil wasn't super strong, and it's got water down there, so the piers they go down, I think 60 or 60 feet, something like that, but there's 100 yards of concrete in each one of those piers that hold the tower, you know, for the foundation.
Yeah.
That ought to hold her.
Yeah, it does. I think so.
That I live up on Mount Scott. Right above me at the very top is a radio station up there. It's on 1330.
Yeah, right.
KWJ.
KPOJ. I don't know what it is now. It used to be KPOJ, wasn't it?
Yeah, but it's a different station now. It's a
different call letter. Huh? Yeah.
I know a guy, John White. He's an engineer up there on the station, and I go visit him up there once in a while.
Isn't it KWJJ?
Is that what's up there now?
Yeah.
Yeah, it used to be down by the river, but
Yeah.
Well, the governor slapped some kind of a fine, not a fine, but deal on one. The station had to pay $1 million to stay on the air for some kind of stupid thing. So the engineer called the governor and told her, says, we can't do this, and so they shut the station down. Now it's just sitting up there idle, nothing going on.
Huh.
But all the other stations are up there. Kissin' Radio is up there.
Well, that's the little low powered FM one there.
Yeah.
Now that's on one of the tower right next to the station. But the station had to shut down. They couldn't afford to run it anymore. It's just sitting there.
Well, they don't make a lot of money nowadays, so it's not the way it used to be. So they're operating on shoestrings a lot of times. So if they,
I think it's Denmark, isn't it, that they shut down all the AM stations?
oh really?
Yeah.
Hmm.
You just left with FM, and FM went up to 200 megahertz area. Bunch of screwy things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the reasoning for that, Bruce?
I haven't a clue. I suppose AM isn't doing that hot anyway.
Yeah. Well, and they're using, they use the long wave AM band over there in Europe. They're not on, they're down, what, 150 to 250 kilo or something like that.
They don't have commercial stations down there now, do they?
Some place, I think some countries do. It just depends on.
Mm.
I thought that was pretty well left to navigation and,
No, the navigation is pretty well gone.
yeah.
The
Marine.
yeah, the WRNZ was at 100 kilohertz.
Yeah.
And then Loran A was formerly in the 160 meter ham band. That's why they used to be really restricted on power and frequency and stuff there years ago. And they abandoned that. And then the Omega, I don't know if Omega is still running, but Omega was down around 40 kilohertz or 50 kilohertz or something like that, but real low frequency.
I heard something about possibility of the 100 kilohertz coming back in. They're worried about, okay, everything today is GPS.
And yep.
What if that goes down?
Well, and actually, all it takes is the sun decide to really put out a nasty flare and hit us square on, and they may very well lose the whole shooting match as well as the grid and stuff too. So they're finally talking about hardening the grid and stuff and different things, because you got all these resonant wires running around, or non-resonant wires running around, waiting to intercept the massive flare energy, overload all the custom transformers, and then basically that'll kill about 90% of the population in the month, because no electricity, no water pump,
Yeah.
and bye-bye.
Yeah, I don't know how they're attacking that now. Because basically what happens is you end up putting DC on AC lines,
Yeah,
and that saturates the transformers. And
right, exactly. Well, they probably just, I imagine for one thing, they got to make better detectors and stuff where they can disconnect everything really quick and protect it as part of it.
yeah, better to be out a day than
Then,
months.
yeah, because
You don't just go out and buy another one of those substation transformers.
no, you don't, because they're apparently, it's not. It sounds like they don't use a generic type transformer, and there's different places. It's kind of like custom for every location. We got this a different thing, but it's similar. On this side of the island, they have deep wells they got plenty of water. It's deep in the side of the mountain and stuff like that. You know, aquifers, percolate down from the mountains where the water, where it rains and stuff. And but they got a lot of 1,000 or 2,000 foot wells, and every one of them's got a different pump motor in it. And so they don't, so one goes down, they got to order it because it's custom. That one needs to be this many gallons and this voltage and this depth and all this other stuff. And so it's kind of the same thing where they can be down months on a pump, or half a year because it had to be built and then installed and stuff. And so fun things, huh?
Yeah, redundancy is nice.
Well, I think that I kind of get the idea they might start to use several smaller pumps in a particular well area instead of having one pump. There's one here. I know they got one well feeds. It may feed half the water, and it's in a shaft that goes down almost to sea level, and it's up about, I don't know, 500 or 700 foot, and it's a horizontal, or kind of a horizontal, angled shaft going down, and it's like a mine shaft, and I think it's got a real big pump motor in there. I mean, so if it quits, then they're out half the supply of water. But they got lots of what they got 13 or 16 wells in the system on this general area. So they can be down a couple of them, and it's not going to hurt the water supply. But
Mhm.
So Pat, any news about tomorrow?
Well, we have to leave early because Devon has to be back for a doctor's appointment. So we're gonna leave at, what was it,
6?
6, be there at 8, but then he has to turn around and leave by 11. So the only person that's gonna be able to help is Roland, and it'll just be 3 of us loading his thing up. So that's gonna be interesting because we actually need one more person. That or I should stay behind and help Roland load your car and his truck. Because if Roland gets there at 9, that only gives us 2 hours maximum for his help. And we gotta load a truck, a van, his truck, and your Subaru. So it's too bad Dan couldn't come with you this time just to scope things out.
Yeah.
Do you know if he's looking into reserving a van for Saturday?
I think it was Sunday he was thinking of, but wasn't
We
it?
have to do it Saturday because there you go. Stevan can't work on Sunday.
Oh no.
So he has to, but I'm at the show on Saturday.
Yeah,
Oh,
you
the
and Mike.
Yeah, but then you'll have Dan on Saturday. And what else? Cliff.
Oh, Cliff is coming Saturday.
Yeah.
Oh.
So that's going to be tough because I won't be there. But I'm wondering if I should skip the car show. But that's kind of bad because I've set this all up and all this plans. I it's tough because it's like I have to do all this work, but I'm trying to get people to help out. So I really don't want to give up the McCracken state, because it's another all or nothing. So we
And
just can't.
And they want us out of there by the 11th for sure, right? We have to be out of
Yeah.
there by.
They want the radios out by the 11th because they have the place sold. And I think they only have till the middle of the month, but after we move all the radios out, then they got to do a bunch of other stuff. So
yeah,
so
From the videos, it looks like there's a lot of stuff. Oh my gosh.
yeah. Well, she told me, I talked to her today. She said she went into one room and she counted over 100 radios in one room. And then she says, well, there's the eBay room, and then there's this room and that room, and then there's the upstairs, and there's the barn, and I'm just going, plus there's the house. So
And there was those pictures weren't there either.
no,
Yeah.
so how many radios in total do you think were a part of that estate?
It'd be in the thousands, right? I mean, because
Yeah.
Wow.
thousands.
we bought hundreds.
Yeah.
The club bought hundreds of radios, so
Yeah. I would say there's probably 2,000.
Wow.
And down in Crawfordville, they didn't get a lot of traffic, but then at the very last day, they were selling shelves of stuff. Like they'd say, well, look, I'll take this whole shelf for X number of dollars because it was 75% off. And then people were bargaining for even better deals. I know that Tom got, for $75, I think he got about 50 transistor novelty radios.
Hmm.
So that's like, over $1 a piece, just over $1 a piece for novelty radios, which I mean, that's unheard of.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So it's going to be tough tomorrow. We're going to really be pushing it, trying to get that done on Thursday and then again on Saturday. So what's in store today? Do you have someone's going to present a what's
Well,
in contest?
Blake was supposed to, but he's not here. So I just thought if anybody has any anything that they want to show. I have one to start. I can start it with. So I'll show. What is this? Let me see. At least I thought I had it. Here we go. So can you guys see it?
Yep.
Yeah.
You know what those are?
I
Look like lead bars.
Are they
think they're-
plastic or lead?
Nope, they're metal.
They're U-shaped?
I think they're a nickel plant. What?
Are they U-shaped?
Yep. Uh-huh.
I've seen those somewhere.
yeah, I have two.
Hmm.
Any wild guesses?
And you can put it on a scale there too. That's nice. I mean, you know, a grid so we can see how large they were. But
Yeah.
huh?
You guys want to leave that as stumped?
Yeah, sure.
I get
Wait, do
Well,
you
what
know
I
what?
think they are, they might not be, but what I think they're shims that sit on the side of a case. So they sit on the inside of a case that folds in, you know, like a metal case that folds inside of another one, and they keep them from rattling. So they put a little pressure on the outside of them, out of a like a clamshell style shim.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
all they are is just a little. They're a little U-shaped, and they sit on there, and they put a little bit of pressure against the outside of the case. So, okay. Anybody else got anything?
anti-rattler.
Yeah, exactly.
So, Franklin, are those pieces of metal, are they lead? Are they really soft?
No, they're not really soft. They're like, actually, I think they were nickel plated at one time, or a light nickel plating, and you can see that they're covered so that they won't rust. But they're not real soft.
So it's more like spring steel.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Are you looking for something, Pat?
Yeah, I was hoping that Blake, well, yeah, we expected Blake, because Blake said he was gonna do it and stuff, but I think he left, didn't he? He had a trip to go on.
He has family, something with his parents in California. Oh, I'm looking for, anybody have any idea where I can find some knobs for a Westinghouse little jewel refrigerator? And I need brown ones for a white refrigerator.
Hmm.
Well,
Nope.
Blake has tons of knobs. I've got some knobs. Tom's got knobs. Devon's got knobs. What does it look like?
They're little brown knobs. I mean, you've seen the little jewel, that little refrigerator looking one from Westinghouse. Let me see if I have a picture. I've been stealing too many pictures. Oh, it looks like I don't have one handy.
Okay, I'll get into this.
All right. What do you
Oh.
got, Bruce? You want me to make you a co-host?
No.
You're just going to show
Oh, I
us.
didn't want to do that. How did I get into this? Now, how do I get out? Stop. I'll do it right here, live.
Okay, there we go. The hood ornament.
Hood ornament with boobs.
Really, but do they light up?
No, they don't.
Oh,
I've
is that
seen
from JC Whitney?
What
No.
is
That came off my
Pontiac?
53 Nash Ambassador Farina.
Oh,
Oh, it had a bunch of names.
Really? Oh, my.
53 bathtub car. Anyway,
So that
the wings are missing. The important part was to expose the boobs, of course, when I was a kid. This was before I had a driver's license. I got this car and I fixed this gal's TV set and she didn't have any money. Anyway, she said, "You want that old Nash back there?" So I went back home, got the tractor and drug the Nash to the farm. We're about a mile. And anyway, got it going. Number 6 cylinder was cracked, or the piston was cracked. And the dipstick oil filler tube with the hood off, and you'd gun it, and it'd go up in the air with all the blow by, and you'd have oil all over the windshield. So anyway, 2 thumb screws and the valve covers come off, and a hammer, boink, boink, push rods for number 6 come off. And then I dropped the pan and brought the piston down the wrong way, but bashed it into pieces until it all came out. And then I took the rod and I cut it in half to clamp back on the crank to give it some semblance of balance, and also to plug up the oil hole on the crankshaft. And geez Louise, that thing ran like a top. It was amazing. I mean, you had no dead compression on that thing. And so it kind of sounded like a big throated V8, you know, because of the non
Combustion.
yeah, the odd combustion angles. Anyway, that thing had a 4-speed hydromatic in it. That back end of that thing would come down and just take off. And anyway, we had a lot of fun doing Dukes of Hazzard out in the orchard. You know, we were supposed to take care of rabbits. We had a new pear orchard there. They're girdling the trunks of the trees. So this Japanese buddy of mine and I, we'd get up, well, in the evening, start that thing up, and he'd be leaning out the passenger window with the .22 rifle and getting the rabbits that are in the headlights, and we'd be zipping around all over the place. We were having a ball. We were getting the job done. My dad wanted those rabbits taken care of. We did it.
Well, out there, it didn't matter what you shoot at.
No, anyway, I learned a lot about driving on ice and snow, you know, running around in the grassy areas, burning cookies and learning how to control it.
Yeah, I learned a lot about driving on ice when I lived back in Iowa. We had an old man with this great big old Chrysler car. He would take it out on the ice and circle around the lake. And if he came back, you knew the ice was thick enough. But if he didn't come back, they went out looking for him. You ever do any ice fishing?
No.
Yeah, and back there in Iowa, we used to go out on the lake. We'd back this pickup out with this old outhouse in it, and it had a hole in the floor. We just drill a hole through the ice and sit in the old outhouse and fish. And we used to catch a lot of fish out there that way.
Oh.
Yeah,
So it wasn't bad fishing then.
no, in fact, we had a little, in fact, if the outhouse was big enough, we could, had a little fire, had a little stove in the corner.
Uh-huh.
That kept us warm inside.
Cool.
And one day, a big windstorm come up and a snowstorm come up, that blew us right off the lake and into the shore. So our fishing kind of come to a quick halt. Yeah. That was a lot of fun. We got a lot of northern pike.
Mm.
Those are good eating fish. Well,
So what do you got there, Pat?
You guys know what this is?
Looks like a honey. It's
No, it's a transformer.
But it's or it's an RF honeycomb coil or something like that.
It goes to a Supreme 400B. So there's instruction manuals and everything on this, but I'm not sure because I have to read the manual. So you guys think it's a, according to this thing, it looks like it's an oscillator coil.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure how you use it.
They probably have different ranges, and that's why it's plug-in.
Do you guys know much about a Supreme 400B tube tester?
Never heard of it.
It's got all sorts of weird accessories in it.
That's,
And it's like-
that goes to the tube tester?
Yeah. Oops.
Maybe it had more than one function besides tube testing.
Yeah.
Let's see. So this tube tester, I don't know if you can see it.
No. Oh, there. Oh,
It's got this section in it. And it has all these tubes. Whoops.
Broke one?
No, almost did. But it's got all these tubes to plug in. So. And it goes inside this tube tester, just plugs right in. So I have no idea why it's like that.
Why don't you hold it up against, like, see it now,
All right.
if you can.
It's heavy.
Must be heavy, huh?
wow.
What year was?
I don't know how old this is.
I think it's an antenna according to the web.
There's
Oh, really?
power plant.
Hmm.
I checked the web and it indicates it's a type of antenna.
Well, that doesn't look like a.
Huh.
It's a, they also call that unit a diagnometer.
Yeah, see, I think it's like a multi-function type meter.
Yeah, there's all sorts of weird gizmos in here. Does that ring a bell?
Where'd you find it at?
This is a donation for a friend of mine, so it'll come up for auction. I don't know if we should have enough. We're gonna be so busy going through the McCracken stuff that we're gonna get through Wednesday of next week that I'm going through stuff right now from a friend of mine's stuff. And I don't even think I'll have time to get it ready for an auction. I mean, you know, we could selectively pull items from the different estates if it warrants that people want to bid on this kind of stuff. But, you know, the McCrackens, I'm estimating that there's probably hundreds, literally hundreds of items that we have to go through and catalog and stuff. And then we have another estate that's going to show up on Saturday, the 14th. It's 100% donation and it's all going to be auctioned. And I looked at the items and, you know, they're not, it's not all junk. It's not too bad. And then this stuff that came in here from a friend of mine, you know, it's decent stuff as well. And this is one of the items. This is this 400 Supreme 400B tube tester. So, you know, like I said, we need people to help do inventory because we'll have literally hundreds of items to inventory. And if we have to get the inventory done before we can auction the items off. You know, because the people who are donating the stuff want to write the taxes off. So anyhow, this one here's got all sorts of gizmos inside of it.
Cradle.
Here's a 400B operating data. Some more Supreme radio data. You know, this is all, wow. Here's another book. In here, it tells you how to operate that oscillator coil in one of these books.
Oh, here, I just found, so So it says Supreme 400B radio diagonometer, tube tester, RF oscillator, voltage ohm, milliamp meter, and condenser tester. So is this a multi? It's kind of like a, Swiss Army knife tester back then.
Yeah,
Wow.
So you'll be able to test your tubes. You'll be able to signal. The RF oscillator would be like a signal generator function, so you could test your radios and stuff.
Well, this looks really old. This is in there too. Dill's pipe cleaners.
Echo.
those are always handy.
Yeah, it doesn't say, there's no data. It just says Dill's pipe cleaners for 5 cents. So you get this whole thing for 5 cents. It looks like there's some still in there.
Hmm.
It says established 1848. Hmm.
Well, it's surprising it's still around.
Yeah. What's this here? Oh, it's got a thing on national tube prices. Okay, does anyone want to take a guess on how much an O1A cost back in
$1.
1937?
$1?
Cents, 80 cents.
Ah, close.
190.
No. You're right. No, you guys are both sides. 85 cents.
Oh,
Oh, I shouldn't show you everything. What's a good tube? A 45?
Yeah, 45.
Okay, how much is a 45 in 1937?
$3.
what are
$2.
they, what are they now? What, $40?
How much?
And now they're about $40, right?
Yeah, $3 is too high.
$2.
$1.99.
No, too high,
Wow.
$1.25.
too high.
Really?
Yeah,
185.
Got to be more than an O1A, right? I would think
well,
99 cents.
$1.
Dollar even.
Wow. I
Wow.
thought 50s are supposed to be expensive too. 50 tubes?
Yep.
Yeah, $2.60 for a 50.
Yeah, 50 is big. Was a much higher power tube, I think, wasn't it?
Oh, you wouldn't believe. Wow. Have you ever heard of a 48 tube?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, how much are those? This thing is even more than a 50. A 48 is $3.60.
Wow, that's expensive.
Well, what was the hourly or daily rate for a laborer in the 30s? Wasn't it like $1 a day or something?
$1.
Yeah. It's about 100 times difference in 1925, right? So you figure that would be 100 times difference.
oh, you'd have to save up for a whole year just to buy a tube.
I don't know. I don't know what the hourly rate is. It's probably somebody could Google search that real quick. It's probably, I'm gonna guess it's probably about $1 an hour in the 30s.
I don't even think it's that high.
Really? Oh,
So a 48 is a power amplifier tetrode. 2.5 watts power output.
huh. Well, how much is it worth today?
Haven't a clue.
I don't think that's in that much demand because I don't think that you see that in a lot of rigs.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it only has 125 volt capacity
Hmm.
for a power output tube. Where do you get 125 volts? Must be rectified line voltage.
Oh, okay. Anyhow, that's in this law here. You get all this stuff. I'm just afraid when we put some of this stuff up for auction that, this whole tube tester with all this stuff, gonna go for what, $5?
Also, is a 30 volt DC filament.
Wow, look at that. that gizmo. It's like you plug it in
Mhm.
the socket and then you put the tube in top and then get all these leads off of it.
You can, yeah.
The in circuit.
Yeah,
Mhm.
except there's only 2 leads on it.
Did you
Yeah.
find a date? Pat, did you find a date on that?
On what, the tube tester?
Yeah.
No. Synchronizing adapter plates break. So why would they only interrupt? Why would they only tap off of 2 pins off this?
Say again what it says.
Synchronizing adapter plate break.
So if there's 2 pins, maybe that's so you can put a series device with the plate circuit. Just a guess.
Oh wow, look at that. It comes apart.
Mhm.
Huh. Interesting. We need some experts here on some of this old equipment. Tell us what it is.
Well, we need some old experts.
Okay, there, that comes off too.
Hmm.
That seems kind of redundant. I don't know why you pull this off. I mean, it's tapped right there and then this one sits on top of it as well.
As a socket saver.
Well, there we go.
Yeah, so I don't know what the deal is. It's actually, it looks like it's 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces. Interesting. Huh.
Maybe somebody just stuck the 4 pieces together so they wouldn't rattle around
Yeah.
Oh,
because they're the same size.
secret.
Well, mate.
Yeah, interesting.
How about
Well-
Sonny? Maybe he might know something.
So on the top there, is that pads to tie to with a meter?
What now, Bruce?
Are there pads around the top
Looks like it.
to connect a meter to it? Test points.
No, these 2 are the only ones here, but there is a pin right here that sticks out. I don't know if you can see it right
Oh,
here,
okay. Uh-huh.
but I don't know if that's connected to anything. Can you kind of see that pin?
I don't think
Okay.
so.
So I have no idea if that's connected to any of the pins here. Well, save your money up. You may get it for a good price. Of course, I don't know who would want it. It's just kind of interesting. It's so old.
Make a
So
good-
with all this large quantities of stuff, can you sell it all?
Well, I don't know, but it's not going to do the club any good to hold on to all this stuff.
No?
That's what he's saying. Can you just, well, you should make like a lot and just say, here's 40 radios, put it on Craigslist and come,
Well,
put down a minimum offer you want for it.
well, we could try that. I think the sale in October is going to be big. We'll probably try to auction off the McCracken stuff and maybe some other items in October. And then in September, hopefully by then we will have gone through all the stuff and take all the junk stuff and just put it on the free table for September, because that's our trash bash.
So the average wage in 1925 was 72.99 cents an hour.
Wow.
Wow. So that 148 tube, that was a half a day's worth of work.
Yeah.
Well, so nowadays, what? I mean, a lot of the IT people, they're getting $50 plus per hour.
Did you see where McDonald's is offering $18 an hour to start with a $1,000 bonus?
Wow.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So they're having quite an issue, I guess, huh? Trying to get.
Oh,
to
yeah,
the
they can't
phone.
find anybody to work. Now, when they get so
Yeah.
much money on unemployment or the stimulus checks, the money, so I guess.
I was just heard on the Seattle radio, Spiffy's up at I-5 and Highway 12 is closing after 50 years. They can't get help, so
Huh.
they just gonna close the doors. They've been there since 1970, I think. So.
Oh,
But
wow.
that's-
Ooh, maybe some of you guys know what this is. Plugs into the wall. This cord goes to this bulb
And another plug-in.
and another plug-in. What in the world is that?
Is that an Edison bulb too?
Ooh, yeah, it's got the little point.
That's the Edison bulb, right?
Well, from what I've been told,
And blown.
they're all these, anything like that with the point, it means it's handmade, it's hand blown.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's an Edison bulb. I don't know what the voltage is. Probably
Oh, yeah.
110. So you plug this into the wall. So
Right.
maybe what it does is, what is that dim bulb tester? So
Yeah.
goes through this light bulb.
Except
and then
that the plug on the other end's the wrong gender for.
oh,
it-
the wrong gender.
for a series tester.
Uh-oh, somebody misgendered it.
Uh-oh, we're gonna be in trouble now. Yeah, you know what? Now that you mentioned, Mark, it's right. It's it's the same on both ends. Okay, that's a good one. All right, what in the world is this used for then?
And how long's that cord? About, just a guess.
Oh wow, I'd say that's
Long.
probably at least 6 feet.
Looks long, yeah.
Yeah, is that to go between outlets to see if they're I just haven't a clue.
Use
Oh.
2 outlets.
Oh, I see. So
But-
you blow a fuse on one, right? So you can plug this into one and plug this in the other, but then it would have to go through this bulb.
Who knows?
Oh, that's fascinating.
Maybe it
Alright.
tells you if the other plug is in the same polarity. Although I don't think they had polarizing sizes on that.
And
earlier.
and I don't think they split 220 then neither, did they?
No,
Yeah, typically in the houses, they just had 120 and that was about it, wasn't it?
blades are the same size.
Well, this one, you guys, this one is the same size on both.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
But
it's not,
this one looks, I didn't think they had polarized plugs, but take a look at this. This one actually looks thicker.
yeah,
Now let me return it the other way. You can see what it looks like it's thicker.
Hmm.
See? So
Yep.
it's like, well, you wouldn't want to reverse it, right? I mean, you wouldn't want to have the same size, you wouldn't want to reverse that and plug it in. That'd be bad.
And you wouldn't want to plug in the one on the extension, and then those other 2 wires would be hot, right?
yeah.
Those other 2,
Well, you
Yeah,
think they
those
would
would
be.
be hot.
Oh, now that you mention, yeah, you plug that in, it's, yeah, you just
Yeah,
start here,
that's why I say it's a suicide device.
early suicide.
Yeah.
I think I made a few of those in my early years. I certainly blew some fuses.
Whoa, look at this. Hey, this one, it came from Jim Mason. Oh, I shouldn't show you the price. All right, who wants to guess? Supreme Model 400B diagnometer, early radio set analyzer. Original owner paid blank for it in 1925, and it's written up by Jim Mason.
Huh.
So what do you think that this went for in 1925, according to Jim Mason?
$30.
$49.
I'm gonna say $100.
Too low, way too low,
Oh, really?
300.
too low,
500.
too
Ouch.
high.
Ouch.
So you guys
Four.
got, you're on it. According to what
400.
Jim Mason brought, this thing sold for $475 in 1925.
Holy cats.
Boy, you'd have to be rich to buy that.
Well,
Yep.
so what's the conversion factor of $1 in 1925 is worth how much today? And we'll just multiply that by
Well,
four.
that's more than a Model T, or about a Model T's worth, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'll get it here real quick.
Oh, look at this. Joseph C. Hector, expert radio repair. 1006 Seymour Avenue, Utica, New York. Phone number is 49046. Supreme radio dynamometer, model 400B, cost me $475 new. There it is. There's the
Wow.
proof.
Huh.
Yeah, whoever gets this will be kind of interesting.
Yeah.
Got all kinds of data to it.
Yeah, RCB Thursday, October 15th, 1925. So that might be the date he bought it. Wow. Maybe we should save this for the club archives.
$7,300.
Yeah.
Wow.
It'd be
That's
$7,300.
Well,
Right.
actually, yeah, for 1925, what kind of stuff would they have done? That's pretty early, right? For repairs and stuff.
Yeah. Those battery sets we have are right there.
So for someone
Somebody
to have
had to fix the things for him.
Yeah.
so somebody who had a very, very advanced, state-of-the-art repair equipment for this. It's like the first DVDs or the first,
Well, it's akin like a service monitor, which two-way radio business, a service monitor is a box that has a signal generator and a monitor that can measure your deviation, your frequency error, and generate your low frequency tones and all kinds of stuff like that, all in one box. And it's the same kind of idea. It's a shop in a box type of idea. Say having multiple pieces of equipment, he's got one box that he can possibly take somewhere else and do it all. I would guess.
Hmm.
Wow, it shows you how to use a lot of this stuff. There's that tube thingy, that tube that you plug into the wall here, and then you plug it into this device. So it shows you how to use that light bulb thing.
Oh, really? It's a for real thing.
Yeah.
So what is it plugged into?
Well, if you can see this plug in here, it's
Yeah.
one of those
Hold it up
light
for a second. Yeah.
What?
Yeah, just hold it up for a second. Huh. So it's made to plug into the device, and then, so what's it say it does? It must give you some description there.
Yeah. This thing
What
right
is the
there,
device?
I
Yeah.
recognize that.
What does it do?
That's the thing that plugs into the
Oh,
light bulb
high
socket?
resistances. Yeah, right.
and it plugs that into the light bulb socket to get your 110. So you want to know what it does? Oh man, this is all above my head.
I just wonder if it's a light bulb amp meter.
See, I gotta find out we're using 17 and 18.
Well, is there a power cord on that device too, or is that how they power it?
I don't know. This is for high resistances or determining continuity through high ohmic resistance in either restrictive, inductive, and capacitive or non-reactive circuits, and for the testing of condensers in the manner outlined on page 66A and 66B, but without the use of any battery, the following procedure is recommended. So remove any jumpers or test leads which may have been left connected to the instrument upon all jack switches on the panel, including the analyzing plug 10 from the contact with any electrical conductors which may be grounded or connected to the common AC supply system.
Okay,
Insert the polarized circuit light or polarized series socket adapter 17, which
Yep.
is this thing right here.
Yep.
This 17, with a 100-watt Mazda lamp 18. Yeah, that's the light bulb.
yeah,
Light
right,
bulb.
yeah.
Okay, if any. Wow, if any D on the end of the instrument tray. Oh, wait a second. Is in the receptacle on the end of the filament tray, if any D device either or other than the 100 light bulb Mazda lamp should ever be used in the series socket adapter, the millimeter might be harmed. Huh.
Needs a little translation.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it kind of sounds like they're using that to plug into the wall to provide high voltage for testing resistances or something, kind of like a series.
Yeah,
Yeah,
not sure.
because they're telling you to keep everything disconnected from the box so you won't make a path and you know
Shock
short
yourself.
something out, I guess, or shock yourself. Weird.
If any device other than a 100-watt Mazda should be used in the series adapter. Okay, so in other words, they're saying you have to use a 100-watt Mazda lamp in that socket, otherwise a millimeter might be harmed.
Yeah, if you use like too was it too high of wattage, it might let more current go through and maybe pin the meter.
Then you take the other end and you plug it into a convenient AC power outlet, place an 80 tube in the UX tube testing socket, insert the grooved rejuvenator plunger to the halfway aging position on the 3-volt rejuvenator jack. This will apply a filament potential of about 3.3 volts to the 80s tube. Insert a jack plunger in the AC line jack. Number 3, the supply voltage should then be indicated on the AC voltmeter. Insert a second jack plunger in the control grid bias jack. Connect the jumper between the screen grid pin jack on the panel and one of the 500,000 ohm pin jacks on the back of the instrument tray. Connect the jumper between B and P oscillator coil pin jacks on the panel. Connect the test probe to the unoccupied 500,000 ohm pin jack on the back of the instrument tray. Well, I could read on and on, but I'm not sure what this is doing.
You can't invent that stuff.
Wow. I tell you, someone's got to buy this.
Yeah, whoever buys it's gonna have to do a lot of reading.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, what is it? Well, it almost sounded like they were using this as a rejuvenator for the filaments on a tube. You know, to give it a maximum of 3.3 volts to like rejuvenate the filament circuit on the tube, perhaps.
Yeah, that might be what it is. Rejuvenator.
Well, that's only one, that's, you know, this manual is pretty thick, this part, and of course, there's like a whole mess more. Oh, this thing's pretty deluxe. It says radio manual for every conceivable test on any set. Wow.
Sounds like,
So this could do supposedly any test on any set. So that's probably why it's all in one, and it's probably fairly expensive.
yeah.
Wow.
Well, Pat, I'm gonna have to go now.
Yep. Yeah, I'm taking too much time.
Okay, I'll see everybody later next time.
Okay, I think I'll get back to my reading later.
Okay. See you later, Mark. See you later, Franklin.
Yep. So Franklin, we'll see you tomorrow. You're muted, Franklin.
What was that?
Oh, we'll see you tomorrow, and it's gonna
Yeah.
be a mess. I think because of the amount of stuff, we may need that 10 by 20 storage unit plus Bill's stuff, plus my back patio and et cetera, et cetera.
So we'll plan on going down on Saturday or Sunday. So
Right, right. Well, then that's the day that you should get the truck. And what I'll do is on Saturday when we're there, we'll know whether or not we're going to need this extra storage unit and a big moving truck on that day. Because if we take all that stuff out with just 3 vehicles and there's a lot more left, we'll have to come back on Saturday and or Sunday and just keep picking up the stuff. So we may need this storage unit.
oh, storage unit too. Are you thinking of one in Clackamas or one out by your way?
One up by my way.
Yeah.
I got a 10 by 20 reserved in Vancouver for what was it, $209 a month. But I got it half price for the first 2 months. So it's only $100 a month. So I'm thinking that we should only have to rent it 2 months and then try to, within 2 months' time, try to divvy it up and try to move it around to different people's storage units so we can get out of it in 2 months. Because on the 3rd month, we're going to have to pay $200, $209. So that's going to be a grand total of over $400. And are we going to be guaranteed to get, a lot more than $400?
Yeah. How much of that stuff do you think is just stuff we're gonna have to throw away?
I don't know. The pictures I saw, I didn't see any of the part sets. I saw none. It all looked like good stuff to me, but I know there's got to be 4 or 5 shelving units filled with $5 part sets. And every one of those is going to go to the trash bash. We'll just inventory them and we'll just throw them out there and people can have them.
Another thing that Dan mentioned was that there's price tags on everything, right? So that might be a very helpful thing when we do the inventory. That we will know what they were asking for it, right?
Yeah, it could be, but I just want to do inventory, make, model, and that's it. And,
Oh, okay. You're not putting a price on it?
What?
You're not putting a price on it?
No, absolutely not. Because that's too much work. If we just put the manufacturer and model number and what it is, short description, like it's a phonograph or radio or test equipment, I think that's good enough. We'll let them figure out the prices. Because when you go to Goodwill and they give you a receipt, they don't put prices on it. It'd be too much work for them.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. They just take it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just hope we can. I mean, it's going to take a lot just to load this stuff up, isn't it? With just you few, and you can't count me as helping loading. So you know that, right?
Yes. Yes. We expect you out. We expect you out there helping load stuff.
Really? If I had my wheelchair, I'd be glad to help. But without my wheelchair, it's just like I ain't gonna be able to help. I'm just gonna be able to watch you guys.
Yeah. Well,
but I do have.
I
was gonna say I did load it up the tubs, so I got 10 tubs of those great big 27-gallon tubs, so you can use those wherever you need to. So
yeah. Well, like I said, my thought for your van would be good. We'll line the bottom with test equipment, and then we'll put wood radios on top because we don't have to protect test equipment from scratches or dings. That's pretty robust stuff. And if we just put wood radios or plastic radios on top, on the top row, should be safe enough.
Just to get some old blankets and layer between them.
I got some sheets and blankets and stuff that I can bring. So I'll bring that kind of stuff.
Okay, yeah. Esteban and Bon and I never use much padding on that because you seen him pack. I mean, he's like an expert packer.
Oh, is he good?
Oh yeah, but see that takes
2 hours, right? You got 2 hours to load mine and Roland's and Esteban's, right?
Yeah, I know, that's the trouble.
Hmm.
What time do you think you might be there?
I'm gonna leave about the same time you do, so I'll probably be a little bit ahead of you guys. So hopefully you'll catch up to me. Esteban's a fast driver, right?
Not with the truck and trailer. I mean,
Oh, okay.
it's scary. That thing is big and heavy, you know. I
I
get
can-
scared when he drives it because, you know, that thing does not stop that good.
So I'd like to catch up with you guys, or vice versa, so we can go together. So eventually, I could wait for you or somewhere.
Okay, we'll keep in communication. So the phone number that's on the email, that's your cell phone?
Yeah.
Okay, well, maybe I'll send out an email just, you know, like within minutes of us leaving, I'll just say we're leaving in 5 minutes or something like that. And then what'll happen is when we're on I-5, we'll say, well, I'll text you or something and say we're at exit, you know, 283 or something in
That sounds
Portland.
good. Let's see if we can get up with you guys. Yeah. Because Roland, it sounds like he's leaving it even earlier than us, right? He's going to leave it. Or
No,
about the
he's going to leave early. It takes him 3 hours, so he's going to leave at 6 and be there at 9.
Oh, okay. Wow.
So he'll only have 2 hours, but that's good. At least we'll get 2 hours of work out of him.
Yeah. Okay. It's going to be an adventure.
Yeah, I know. Well, I really fear, my fear is that I won't be able to go on Saturday, so everyone else will work again on Saturday, but I fear what's going to happen is I will be driving down there either by myself or with someone else on Sunday, you know, just to keep going and stuff until it's all cleared out. Because if we don't clear it out, then I'll have to go down Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, just,
Yeah.
you know, with whatever I
can't-
can drive.
And I'm busy Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. I actually have doctor's appointments, so I'm
Yeah.
not going to be able to make it then. But I'll be there Saturday and Sunday if we need to.
Okay,
So,
that's good to know. Like I say, you know,
but I'm not much help. You know that, right?
yeah. Well, no, it's okay. If you have a vehicle, if we can fill stuff up, that's good enough.
Sounds good.
Hey,
Better
Pat, I
than-
could probably help out on Tuesday if that helps any.
Oh, is it Mike Moran?
Yeah, on Tuesday, I got my hands full right now, Pat, but I bet on Tuesday, if you need help, I could chip in.
Okay, we'll keep that in mind and stuff because Mike, we don't really know how much is down there still because we didn't get pictures of every building and every place. There were no pictures inside the house, and from what I understand, there's lots of radios inside the house as well. So, you know,
Yeah, those were the nice radios, as I recall.
yeah. Well, I can't imagine her donating all the nice stuff inside because there's a lot of nice things still.
Yeah, you're right. There was-
You got to get it out of there, though, right? I mean, that's the
Right.
problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's done.
Yeah, she's done. She wants to sell it and get out and stuff, so.
Hmm.
Okay, I'm gonna write Mike Moran on down then. Mike, what kind of vehicle do you got?
it's a small, basically it's a small compact. It's not very big. It's
Maybe
a,
he can somebody and then just go down as a helper.
Well, that's possible, but I'm trying to get more people to come out, you know. Well, like I say, we tomorrow really is gather as much stuff we can get, and it's a recon mission. Seriously, it's got to be a recon mission because we don't know. I mean, if we're going to drive all that way down there and take a look, we might as well bring back everything we possibly can get our hands on. So tomorrow is kind of like, let's get as much as we can possibly get and find out how much we're in trouble for. Because, you know, have you talked to Dan? Is Dan gonna rent the truck then on Saturday?
He just needs it okay from you, of course, you know, that kind of thing. I mean, so we really need to know if we really need it or not, and then we can rent it, right? And what's really bizarre is the difference between the prices of dropping it off in Portland and dropping it off in Vancouver was like $150 difference.
Right.
Yeah.
So we're going to have a storage unit because I got a great deal in Vancouver, right?
Right.
But we just pay the 40 cents mile difference to go from probably Jansen Beach to downtown Portland, that's only probably 3 and 4 miles.
Yeah, so that
Right.
would be the best way to do it. Just
And
drop it
then-
off in Portland. Yeah.
And then just turn right around and drop it back off in Portland. Because let's say it's 10 miles one way, that's only $4.
Yeah,
So
that would
we
be the way to
should-
do it. And
Yeah.
by bringing it down there would be the best way too. It's only one way trip. We don't have to drive it all the way down there, especially, the gas too. Because we do have to pay that too. So
yeah, but still, like I say, this is all free stuff, so hopefully it'll be worth it.
so yeah, we'll find out tomorrow if we need to rent it or not. And then I'll let Dan know. And then me and Dan will go down either Saturday or Sunday and do that. So
Right. Okay, well, sounds good, but I'm thinking, Franklin, he better reserve it as soon as possible, because if you wait till tomorrow, well, tomorrow might be okay, but if we wait any longer, you might not get it.
yeah, as soon as we know, we got to get it. Yeah, that's for sure.
Well, if you reserve it and then don't take it, do they charge you?
I don't know. I think they do. I think they put it on your credit card to start with. So
But if you reserve it and then you cancel within what's the cancellation time? Could you reserve it now and then cancel it the day before and not have to incur a charge?
I think
check that
so.
out. Is that how it works?
So.
Well,
I've
I
never-
don't know who you're renting from and what their terms are, but
It's U-Haul, but
yeah. But yeah, you look and see what their or contact them and see what their cancellation policy is. If they say you got 24 hours, you have to cancel at least 24 hours ahead of time if they incur no charges, then you get closer to, if that helps. I don't know.
yeah, I'll have to look it up. But yeah, it's a good idea.
The storage unit is no problem. I have it reserved, and if we don't show up by Saturday by 4 p.m., then they're just gonna give it away to someone else, but they don't charge us.
Yeah, it sounds like you guys can have fun anyway. So
We're gonna be busy for the next.
yeah.
It's only $4 difference between the 20-footer and the 26-footer too, which I thought was kind of weird.
I would say we should get the 26-footer because I'm kind of scared. I'm
Yeah.
thinking there's gonna be lots of stuff.
If it makes you one less trip, that's
Well worth it.
yeah.
Well, Franklin, if you can contact him and just tell him, make sure we get it reserved. We can always cancel.
Okay, I'll see if they have a
Yeah.
cancellation.
Right. If they have a cancellation fee or not. That's it. There you go.
And if they have them in stock now and we can wait until tomorrow I think by about 2 o'clock tomorrow, well, actually probably by 11 o'clock, we should know whether we need the truck or not. Be pretty obvious.
Sounds good.
Okay, well, I'm gonna sign up because I got preparation for tomorrow and resting, and I'm telling you, I'm just beat.
Take care, Pat.
Yeah,
Thanks,
thanks.
Pat.
Thanks,
We'll see you
Pat.
tomorrow.
Yeah.
Take care, you guys.
Yeah, we'll see you
Thanks,
guys.
Mike.
Hey, Franklin.
Yeah.
So how's your COVID? How's the whole COVID stuff doing over there in Oregon right now?
Oh, the Delta variant is what's there,
Yeah, same thing here. It's
Yeah.
spiked up.
but nobody's dying. Or very few people are dying. Not like
Yeah.
not like
I saw
before.
something about one person that was over with the Portland and probably picked up the Delta, I guess, because they had some symptoms and came back and got tested, and yeah, they got COVID, and they had both vaccinations. So, but they weren't hopefully getting real sick though, I guess, with it. So
So at least it's not killing. So
but I'm just kind of curious. I thought about maybe trying to make a trip over. Well, actually, this month now, but I don't know that I'm going to at this point. So I really haven't got all my ducks in a row yet. But
Japan is kind of like they're getting spikes because of the Olympics, right?
yeah,
Because
Olympics, yeah,
so they got these spikes everywhere, like 4 or 5,000 people are getting them, but
Yeah.
nobody's, nope. And, you know, there, amount of people that are vaxxed is very,
Yeah.
it's about-
Well, how
More
many people are vaccinated in you're in Oregon, right, aren't you?
right. We're like,
Yeah.
we're like way high. I mean, I think
Well-
we're over 50%. So we're way high.
Oh.
We're highest in the nation of being vaxxed. So
Oh, right. Well, it's more than 50% then. It must be over 70 then.
yeah, it might be something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's way, we're way on the top of the list.
Oh, okay, because Hawaii was ahead for a long time and then they kind of slacked off, and I think on the fully vaccinated, I think they're around 60, maybe the low 60s or something like that, and I think they got enough people with one dose that you think that jump up real fast when they get the second dose, but they've been having more and more cases, I think.
And it's hard to believe everything too. There's so much false information out there.
Yeah.
Crazy. So because they go back later and they change the numbers, so it's been real frustrating to keep up with them.
Well, actually, I'm thinking that they're probably pretty good on the numbers about. I know they want it to be at 70% or something like that, and they're not there. And like I say, I think it's the low 60s.
And
Yeah, and vaccination, they're fully vaccinated. Yeah. So I like say they were really going fast, and then I think that there's on the Big Island where I live at, I think that there was a pretty high number that had at least one shot. So that would imply that if they've already gotten one, they're going to get the second, and then that number ought to really unvaccinated really ought to shrink down at that point then. But
they're coming up with
the lieutenant governor here is a physician, so they kind of been on top of a lot of that stuff. With somebody that has a little bit of clue what's going on, I guess.
But I was on that a lot of physicians aren't getting vaxxed, which is really bizarre. And then a lot of the information is coming from India too, and the vaccinations they had in India aren't even approved in the United States, which is a bizarre kind of thing.
Well, they had that AstraZeneca, which was not here,
right?
And maybe that's what they're.
So a lot of that thing is really bizarre how they've brought out that different kind of ideas and stuff, and they want us all to wear masks again, which is the bizarrest thing too. Well, especially vaxxed, right? I mean,
well, this one person that I read about was vaccinated that apparently got tested positive for it, so got it over P-town, as he put it, and so
the bizarre thing with that too, though, is CDC came out and said that when testing people that got COVID, there's really no way to test if they got the Delta variant or not. They're just assuming if you were vaccinated that you got the Delta variant. So that was one of the really weird things that I read that from the CDC, that they really don't know the difference between the Delta variant when they come to their actual tests. So the test doesn't tell.
The test doesn't tell them which one it is. It just tells you got something.
Right, exactly. Yeah. And then they're assuming if you were vaccinated that you got the Delta variant, or if you went to a place that had a lot of. So they're making a lot of assumptions, and I think that's what the government does, is make a lot of assumptions.
Well,
so anyway, it's kind of frustrating.
Yeah. It's kind of wanting to make a trip back sometime, but kind of not sure when I want to risk the trip.
Well, that's the thing too, is they say that it's those tracers that were try to trace to where you found it, where you got it from. They're saying that they're not finding any people getting it from plane flights. That because of the HEPA filters on the plane and that kind of stuff. And plus, everyone is supposed to be tested when they get on the plane, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, that would seem like you're.
Well, I don't know if they either tested or if they've been fully vaccinated. I don't know. I think if you've been fully vaccinated, see, like when I do get ready, I can register my vaccination information with the Safe Travels program, And then that is set up so then anybody can check and say, oh yeah, you've been vaccinated. You know, I mean, in order to kind of confirms, it's not you just holding up something saying I've been vaccinated. It's actually, they can look up and say, yeah, you're registered. There's the information. You're good to go and don't need to be tested, type of thing. So.
But then if you haven't been, you've been tested, right?
Pardon me?
My daughter, she had to fly back to Connecticut. She had to be tested again.
Really?
So, yeah, it was bizarre.
Well, that well, they're not. Like I say, if you register with the Hawaii, I don't know. I think they call it like it's. I mean, it's the state of Hawaii. It's like the Safe Travel Program. So I don't know what you have to go through, but basically, you have your documentation about being vaccinated, and that is in. I guess that they can access that database, you know, from because they took all that information when they vaccinated us. So they can confirm that, yep, this is a valid, you're vaccinated, and then you're in this program, and then I guess you probably have an app, and then you just show that, and it kind of says, yep, you're done, you know, good to go. Don't worry about, you know, any of that stuff. But
The bizarre thing is the college was testing her every week, even though she's vaccinated. So it's really bizarre because they do it on a general basis of everybody, right?
yeah,
So she has to go in every week to get swabbed, to get tested. Because they want to be on top of it at the college, I guess is the deal. But
what a headache.
oh, exactly. But you know, that's how Yale is right now. They just don't want it to spread, so they want to know right away somebody's got it. But I think it's just overkill. But they want to spend the money too, I guess. So they want to use the government money.
They're spending it.
Yeah, that's for sure. We'll never have to worry about it.
Yeah.
Pretty crazy.
Yep. All righty. Well, I'm going to get out of here.
All righty. Thanks for coming.
Oh, you know, I should ask you one more question. I'm sorry about because I think, have you ever worked with port settings on your router or anything like that?
Oh yeah, a little bit. Yeah. You think you?
See, I have a remote. I actually got two of them now, and that's one reason I need to come back. I have a remote ham radio station at my brother's house in Washougal, and actually, I think think the hardware's it failed because I can't connect anymore, or it could be something stupid. But I was setting up another one. I've got a little cabin down south, and I can have a tower up in the air and stuff like that, and so I'm just setting that up, and it's all. I can work it locally, you know. I mean, when I'm on the site, I can through the local local area network, I can connect and what have you. But I guess there are some, port numbers they use. Like I guess cameras typically use 80, and that's a problem. A lot of other devices default to 80, which is including my box. And so I changed it to a different number. But I guess I've probably got to set that up in my little Wi-Fi router. I'm guessing I got to tell it that it can use that port 88 for this device. Does that sound? I guess that's so you can connect through, and it will pass it to its server. Does that make sense?
I guess it does. Or it would be right.
You broke up a little bit there.
They wouldn't overlap that way. So.
Well, yeah, I'm thinking that's a problem. And I do have a camera at the site there, so.
Can you access your router remotely? Right.
I don't have it set up that way, and I guess I've got to when I go back down there get set it up so I can remote in or access my router and stuff, and of course assumes I know what the IP number is, because I guess that can change.
Oh yeah. You still have
actually
router.
The remote rig does tell you what the so the remote rig setup uses a DNS service through the company. They have a couple servers in Sweden or somewhere, and so the boxes connect to the server in Sweden. And that way they can know where the other end is. And so that's how they can find it then. So for your connection is that it's automatically says, oh, it's over at this IP address. So that way if your route, if your IP changes at your home, because they don't usually, unless you pay for it, give you a fixed address. So that way if it changes, then it can still find the other end.
Right.
But I assume if you have your router, so you can go get into it. If it were to change, then you'd have to know what the new IP is at your since it's assigned.
But would you have to set that router though?
But I have to what now?
The same IP for that router though. The router.
Well, it is the same IP. It's the same. Yeah, it is the IP of the router. And so like I say, as long as the box is communicating to the DNS service, I can look up what that IP is at the time, and that way I'd be able to find my router. And but then I'd have to set it up so I can access that router. And I guess you can turn that on so you can access it. I've never done that, but I guess you can access it. You can access it and get into it to make make adjustments and stuff like that.
Right. Yeah. You just need a browser, a remote address to your browser, right? So
yeah.
Once it recognizes your browser, it should be able to let you in and you change the settings.
Yeah. But see, I actually need to get through to my device that's in there. And so I guess what I really need to do is I need to assign a fixed address to it inside my local area network. And then the port service, I guess, is what translates from the external IP to the internal one there, I guess. It's a little bit, I know just a little teeny bit to be real dangerous or sort of dangerous.
That's the old-fashioned way of doing it, right? Having fixed IPs and stuff like that.
Well, I mean, I think in the internal network, I can put a fixed IP. I think I need to do that because if I think when you set up the port, they call it mapping. I think if I use like 88 for the port to the device, I also got to give that an IP address that it's going to be using, so it knows that when something comes in with the 88 port request or whatever you call it, that it knows to go to that IP and find the box there.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. But I guess if you don't do that, I guess it still would find the box in there because it just broadcasts to all of them. I suppose that's inside the box or inside the router.
A local one would do that.
Yeah.
I don't know if a remote one would be able to do that.
Yeah. Well, actually, I had this working locally just fine, and but now I can't, and I can see that it's reported into to the DNS, so I know it's working that way, but I can't get into it. So I'm thinking that I probably have to allow that port number to be used to get to the box in there, I guess. So.
Can't you go back to your old port? I mean, because you got to set it up for a certain port.
I can't get to. I have to go back to it physically and connect to it.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah. Supposed to be able to actually talk to the boxes remotely, but I have in that fashion, but I haven't figured out how to do that yet. And it's probably to do with the ports or something, so I can do that.
Sounds good.
But it's kind of, I don't have a good handle on that, so it's kind of keep trying things till it works, and that's kind of a headache.
Yeah, you can
Especially
be
when they're a long ways away.
Yeah, you can be in real trouble that way too.
Well, see, and I know that on the mainland, my remote there, but I think actually physically, like say something's wrong, and I'll have to go back there and troubleshoot it. I got a spare modem to replace the one there, but they put in a Ring camera, and those use that port 80, and so I know that's going to be a big conflict with my device. So that's why I need to change. I need to go and change the ports on it, so it won't be using the same conflict with the Ring camera, which is probably busy all the time.
Oh yeah, your door.
So anyway, it's a lot to figure out.
Yeah. Well, thanks, Mark.
Alrighty. Sorry, what?
Thanks for coming.
Yeah,
Appreciate you guys showing up for the Wednesday night.
yeah, well, good luck in you guys' hauling stuff there, so,
It's going to be an adventure.
yeah. Alrighty, see ya.
See ya. Bye.